Hello everyone and welcome to State of the Realm. We had the patch 7.4 part 2 live letter or live letter 90 earlier this morning. I'm exhausted, but we got to talk about it because the part 1 live letter was really good. Did the part 2 live letter continue the hype, or could they have just sent it in an email? I'm one of your hosts, Mr. Happy, and of course joining me is my boy Blue, Sly. Hello, Sly.
How you doing, Happy?
I'm so beat, dude. You got to be the energy today.
I can tell. I kind of figured that was going to be the case, and I do not mind. So that's why I'm here. That's why you have another host.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably because Wednesday I woke up at 5 a.m. to play Octopath at 6 a.m. So I streamed from 6 a.m. Wednesday, and then I woke up early yesterday to also stream early, but not that early, but then woke up at 4 a.m. to start streaming at 5 a.m. today, when the live letter started at 6 a.m., but I actually ended up starting at 4:40. So,
yep.
Yeah, I went back and forth to New Zealand on Wednesday, so I just have, I got, a little jet lagged a little bit,
Nice.
Yeah. But we did have the live letter today, and so I'm excited to get into that. But before that, shout out to the patrons over on Patreon for supporting. Support's optional. All our content's free. We don't charge for anything, but anyone who is supporting over there, we thank you. You are the best. And thanks to SteelSeries for sponsoring. I gave away something from SteelSeries earlier today. And I got to send that out tonight, or at least I picked a winner and then they sent me the email. And I got to send that out tonight. So thanks to them as well. All right. I can do this.
You can do this. So don't worry. I got you. I got you.
You got
I got you.
You got me.
You. Yeah.
Well, okay. Then where are we starting, pal? What's going on right now?
Well. I mean, normally this would be the time where you ask, is there anything you want to go over before we start? So I'm gonna ask you that question. Is there anything you kind of wanted to kind of get through real quick before we actually get through the entire thing? Or one thing I will say that was kind of sorely missed, and I'll start myself. Normally, I mean, they did with pretty much most of the content that we are getting, but we didn't see any Doom Train. He usually does the EX.
Well, I think he
little
does
sample
the
the EX.
I think he does like a few seconds of the normal. I don't remember if he does the EX or the
normal. Yeah, normal. Yeah. But yeah, we didn't see any. The only time we saw it was the trailer.
Yeah, although the trailer was a very, very expressive train.
Oh yeah, that was very, very telling.
Yeah,
I never saw Doom Train do so much.
Yeah, I actually think the trailer was actually worth skipping it, and we'll watch the trailer here in a couple of minutes. I think it was worth skipping it in the live letter, just because no matter what we would have seen auto raid wide or auto tank buster followed by like some like basic AoE. Like I don't think we'd have seen even close to as much as they showed. They showed him like ramming the rail, like ramming the carts and like knocking people back and like dropping things
the up and down mechanic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think we actually got to see so much more of the trial than we normally see. I think that kind of has to happen because you can't just like do video of generic raid wide and just put it in the trailer with a big ass train. You got to do something a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they said they were going to have not enough time. No, I don't think there's anything that we won't get into today. Okay. There were still a few surprises. One in particular that got me, but there's no way that we'll miss talking about that. And I was overall pleased, but I will say I won't say what it was, but there's one thing for me that was missing from this entire thing. And it's something, in my opinion, needed to be there. And it wasn't there. And it was one sentence, all they needed to do. But we'll get into that later because, again, that's a topic there's no way that we won't talk about because it was a major, major part of the live letter. But before that, we have a trailer that we can watch.
We do have a trailer.
And I'll say, ahead of time, it's a pretty great trailer. And it's even better when we start talking about one particular aspect of it that we learned about 20, 30 minutes after we saw the trailer with a big announcement about one of the tracks that was in there. But what do you say we throw on the trailer and then we talk about it afterwards?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Alrighty, I'm muting myself. You do the same, and chat, enjoy.
A word of caution, keeper of the key. Be wary, for fate's regard now falls upon you. An endless ocean and ever-changing sky. First time I saw them, I couldn't believe my eyes. It was like I was walking among images from our oldest records.
No matter what comes or how hard it gets, we'll choose joy over fear and stand together. There's nowhere else I'd rather be.
This is an evacuation alert.
Oh life, flourish on this faraway shore. Unfurl your fragile petals with fearless joy.
Of course, those words and our people will always be in my heart.
This is my show. I will hear you scream.
All right.
Everything burns.
Everything burns. Yeah, we'll definitely get to talk about that. That's what you say when you come back from like Tahiti on like a bender and you go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you say. Yeah. Great trailer. Really. It's one of those like if when you try not to think about any individual content, what you're looking forward to, not looking. It's definitely a get hype trailer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot in there. There's the moving forward of the story, which I think is one of the most important bits for everyone. Kryl finally getting scenes, which was one of the big disappointments of Dawn Trail's original story. They were like, "Hey, we're gonna talk about Kryl," and she's like, "Yeah, I did my one thing. We're good now. I think we're fine." You get to see Hell on Rails, which looks incredibly expressive and fun for a trial.
Doom Train throwing hands. I didn't think that would be on my bingo card.
To be fair, Doom Train as an entire entity, like after the Phantom Train and Omega, I did not think they would do Doom Train. Like, he just looks. He was such a ridiculous looking train that it was like, I just didn't see it coming. That's all it was.
No.
All the bosses in the Arcadian, once again, seem really good. We've heard a couple songs, one of them, Everything Burns, which we'll talk about in a second here, as well as the various bosses. And that's the story finale I'm looking forward to the most, because the Arcadian for me has been, I think it's the best raid tier we've ever gotten, or the best raid series we've ever gotten. So I want them to stick the landing really bad. I don't want them to fuck it
Hopefully.
up. Fingers crossed on that front. What did you think of the trailer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like it's pretty much quintessential like Final Fantasy 14 hype. It's kind of bigger for me, like you said, because of the Arcadian. Because I like again, it's just been peak wrestling, and like we've been hyped for raid series. I mean, when was the last time we were really hyped for a raid series? I don't think Eden did it. I mean, Alexander in the beginning, but we kind of lost.
Oh God,
hype after
Alexander.
Yeah.
So the way that I think of it is, I think every raid tier, I'm always excited to see what will happen when we go into the first one.
Mm-hmm.
The second one, I'm always a bit tepid about because the second raid usually has a reputation of being a problem for a lot of tiers. And then the third tier is, are they going to rein it back and is it going to end okay? So this is the
now,
first
are you talking
time
in terms of story or in terms
Everything.
of like actual
Everything.
fight? Everything?
Everything.
Okay.
Like, I mean, looking at second tier has the weird curse of the normal mode almost being more fun than the savage. Like, not because it's harder or more interesting, but some of the fights get dulled down a lot in the second tier and they just kind of lose this. It's happened so many expansions. And the few expansions that hasn't happened are expansions that have had their own, like A Realm Reborn, second coil is probably the pinnacle of the coils. And then the final coil, which is not bad. There's great fights in final coil. It's a fitting end, but the second tier really holds sway as kind of like the most influential, most difficult, most dynamic tier of the batch. Alexander, I don't need to say much about Alexander as a whole. Alexander's story doesn't even work. Like, Alexander goes from being, I think, the worst raid story to the best raid story by the time you get to the third tier. It's like a bunch of like, what does any of this have to do with anything? And then the third tier happens and you're like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was crazy. And then that only got better over time with Shadowbringers and everything. So that aged well. Omega, same. I think Omega's aged better over time. And I think that Alexander alongside it really helps with that. Pandemonium, I think also. I think that Pandemonium has a lot of ups and downs, but it's like an epilogue to the MSQ. And I think it does a really good job at being that. The payoff is really good in the end for me. But again, Pandemonium has all of its own problems. But this is the first time a tier has kind of had a good tone, a consistent tone that's like just kind of been interesting the whole way for me without me really needing to like overanalyze or hyperanalyze any individual part. And I think all 8 fights have been good on both normal and savage. So then
savage,
that's never happened. I've never seen the first 2 tiers have 8, in my opinion, 8 winners.
So with this, do you like, again, this is the last tier. We know we're getting 3, technically 4 weeks of gear for this tier, if you count the week of. Do you think, because there's been some talk, hell, we were talking about it in Raid last night, what they could possibly do in terms of difficulty, in terms of, bearing the 4 weeks in mind. Do you think they keep everything as is and make this kind of your victory lap, or do you think they adjust based on Mrhappy, and we like Kuruma and we don't want to raid on Kuruma, so we're going to push it back, and you'll have gear, but we'll make it fair.
So here's the thing. We have an answer to that. We have an official answer to that already. The problem is, I have learned over the years that the official word means absolutely nothing. So
exactly.
I will just read you their exact answer, and that will be what we go in expecting. And then what the actual result is very different. Let me find it. This is from the Live Letter 89 digest, where we originally had the discussion based on the based on the unofficial translations, where it basically said there really wouldn't be much in the way of anything. So here we go. This irregular schedule means our week 1 raiders will be more geared than usual when Savage is released. But knowing that some of our raiders won't be starting Savage until later in the patch, we've only made minimal adjustments to the difficulty to compensate for the higher item level. Effectively, they understand that they can't just retune it just because week 1 raiders want a harder week 1 fight. they still need it to be like roughly the same experience across the lifespan of it for the end of the expansion. So I don't expect it to be, I expect it to be a little easier gear wise in the week one, but I don't expect to like skip. I don't expect to skip like 2 minutes of the fight.
Skip mechanics. Yeah.
And I don't expect it to be a victory lap, but I think at the end you'll more likely be pressed from trying to figure out mechanics than you'll be trying to figure out, how to figure out like how to maximize your DPS personally. But who knows? They've also said that normal mode raids would be between, it would be like Coil with Echo, and that Midas was between second and final Coil's difficulty. So, and we've had plenty of statements like that over the decade. I know those are really old statements, but like they set the tone.
I'm at the point where like anything they say, take with a grain of salt. Yeah, honestly, until we see it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they'll make for an interesting race. I think it's still. This will be, I wouldn't say one of the weirdest ones, but you kind of like, and you have to take into account the 4 weeks and everything. And, you'll have gear, you'll have pretty much, some people have pants and legs. Some people will go different.
I sure hope they have pants and legs, Sly. Generally,
not pants and legs, chest and legs. I meant to say chest and legs, excuse me.
Generally, if you have pants, you have legs most of the time.
You have legs. Yeah. Yeah. But chest and legs. Yeah, I would say people would have their chest and legs. Maybe some people go for weapons week of, assuming that they're going to get through second fight and get the tombstone or whatever it is for the weapon. But yeah, it's going to like gearing is going to be really, I don't know. I mean, like the balance people in the balance usually kind of science this out week of. Just to kind of see like, hey, you're probably going to want to go with this, and it's going to be really interesting seeing all the theory crafting and everything for the raid.
Yeah, it was, but the preview from the trailer definitely made me a lot more excited for the tier. I was already excited, but I mean, it was just like it being so Arcadian driven makes it even easier for me to get excited about it personally. Yep. But that was just the trailer, just the start. We're now going to go in order of how they talked about things during the live letter itself. Main scenario quests, they don't really have too much to say. They said we're going to be traveling around a lot. I mean, we're on a train. I imagine we're going to be going around a little bit. Also, I keep forgetting that the nickname for Hell on Rails is Scary Thomas in Japan.
I have not heard that.
It's so good.
Scary Thomas.
Yeah, even I think Foxclon and even Yoshida and Foxclon talked about it a little bit when they were watching. I think Terrifying Thomas is better just because it's got the alliteration, but Scary Thomas is definitely a top tier community name for Doom Train.
Choo Choo Charles.
You want to know something interesting about Doom Train?
What's up?
In Japan, both now, actually, and in Final Fantasy VIII, his name is Glazia Labolis, which is the same name as the second boss.
We knew that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I always forget because it's like he's Doom Train, So just an interesting thing. Yeah. Why is he not Charles? I guess Charles. I guess Charles is already scary, but he is literally just Charles. So, as close as you can get to Charles at that point.
Yeah.
God, I haven't seen that game in ages. They also did confirm that while they are doing 2 totems for this fight, in the future, they're going to be reevaluating how they do totems as a whole, and adjusting the exchange rates. It makes sense in all honesty, because making it so it's 2 totems a fight and then 99 totems for the mount, for example, is, for lack of a better word, stupid.
What you going to do with that one left over, huh?
I've always just like, when there was one, which fight was it? There was like, I think for each of the weapons, Ruby, Emerald, and Diamond, you needed one of each or something in order to buy that card, the G Warrior card. I actually really like that kind of, workaround solution to that extra totem. But yeah, just make it 50
necessary, though.
I mean, but I mean, having more rewards and totems to me is not the end of the world. Like, I do like the idea that, like, if I went 50 runs without getting the card, that I could just buy the card for totems. Like, quite frankly, that's a really small thing to just make it one. But I'd say it's also smarter to make it one totem per fight and adjust all the rates by half. Like, there's no reason to have to do 2 totems per fight instead of 1 totem and then you get rid of the whole problem with 1 extra. So. But yeah, having an extra reward that costs the 1, to make up for this fact, it would be fine too. But no, I think it's smarter that they're going to be doing that. And actually, Sly, there were some interviews earlier in the week. I guess I should have led with this, that we didn't talk. We haven't had a chance to talk about because they just happened. And in them, they even said they might be revisiting the whole 450 tombstone thing as well.
I've heard this rumor going around, and
I guess it's not so much a rumor. It's what does that even mean? Because he said like we need to reevaluate the 450 tombstone. Like, is that even something our players look forward to? Is that like, does that match the consumer market now? Like, it was a big, like, it wasn't we're gonna. It was more like it was amusing.
Is it more centered on like he says, player time and valuing your time and things like that, and it kind of seems kind of directed at that, like the whole 450 tomes a week. And I mean, what could you possibly, my question is, what could you possibly do to, I guess, make it better, make it, more feasible for everyone, which again is a losing battle anyway. But yeah, what could you possibly do? Like raise the cap or, I mean, uncap it? I mean, what are we talking? I mean, I don't think they're going to really uncap it. I'm just throwing out things. Yeah.
I mean, I think a big thing is that, like, a lot of people have pointed to the idea of, for example, let's say I don't have time to get all 450 in a week. You have a rolling cap, for example.
Yeah.
So let's say I don't have enough time to play this week, but I have plenty of time to play next week. So being able to roll your cap over so there's less pressure to play in any given week is one example of something. And then in the process, if you didn't cap the previous week, you can give an additional bonus to players in the second week, for example, to make it so that they're more easily able to hit the 900. But that's just like, that's one example of a quality of life that's there. And on top of that, you could also just adjust, is a weekly cap even? Like, here's the thing. It wasn't like, hey, we're going to change this. It was him like, just basically musing on the idea, like, is that something that's consumer friendly? Like something that would happen in like discussion. So it's not like this where they're actively evaluating it, but they're clearly thinking about those things, and totems and tomes and all that. And like acquisition of items is clearly something that's high on the priority. So it's just curious to see that we'll probably be seeing updates to systems that we've kind of gotten really used to almost ignoring, in a sense, like, oh, that's exactly as it is every time. But we might actually have something at some point in regards to change there. And that's in line. I mean, they seem to just want to do that across the board with 14 right now. They're really not messing around with the whole, let's try to make just a bunch of things that we've kind of just gotten complacent about. And they've been called out on being complacent about it. And they're saying, yeah, we were complacent about it. Like, we were doing really well. And, we just kind of let it be as it was and just focused on new stuff. And they can't do that. They got to fix things up, and the pressure's on.
Oh, yeah.
So that was for the totems. Then the Arcadian, they said we would enter later. Unreal, they reminded people of War Core Chirte. Yep, Tsukiyomi. Chirte. Which is the Triumph mode, is now the name for that. Triumph, which, moving away from the S's, secure C's. Although I guess Ansal Hakar already moved away from that, but new frontline. So new Air Force One, which top tier for me, big fan.
Glamour
update. Yep. Strategy board. It's finally real, and they went into a big thing about that.
Really big.
Yes, very big. Variant, of course, Merchant's Tale, the command panel. So a lot of big features. Also, a reminder of some other things. We have 3 new Phantom jobs coming. We have the accessories for the Occult Crescent. We have duty support for Ormvale and Darkhold. Yeah, we have Cosmic with Oasis coming this patch. Clear green and clear white UIs for the psychopaths out there who really like them. for whatever reason. You know, you do you, but also I'm very afraid of you. So just saying.
Yeah.
And then actually also this was the first surprise that kind of happened in the live letter. I guess unless you want to count the totem thing, but that's not really that surprising. They're finally making it so when you disconnect in deep dungeons, you don't automatically get kicked out.
Yep. You have 10 minutes, which good. I mean, yeah, usually within reason. Let's say, you know, knock on wood, power goes out and it comes right back up instantly. So you're kind of, if you're kind of waiting on your router to kind of recycle, you're booting your PC back up and everything. So roughly I would say about 6 minutes in a good scenario, but worst case scenario, you might be fucked still. I mean, this is good. This is good for like isolated incidents. Like I guess like random 90Ks, random 90K, you can just get back in, your run's still okay. But for other scenarios, yeah, I mean, honestly think they could have raised the time a little bit more, because you never know what could happen in this scenario.
I think that I think a lot of people are about to realize something about this whole disconnect costing you your run problem. I think people haven't logically thought about how long Final Fantasy XIV takes to kick your character out of the game. Now, that's not because of the 10-minute timer, because it's protecting you from a disconnect, but it's not protecting your life, because it's not like you're invincible while you're disconnecting. If you die while you're disconnecting, dead. You are still dead.
You're dead. Yeah.
So keep in mind, there are a lot of contingencies. If you're solo, you have to survive whatever you're fighting. With a raising palm, I think that would save your run.
How?
Raising palm.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, and 2, the instance timer is still running. So you're losing up to 10 minutes on your instance timer, which on the higher floors, in Pilgrim's Traverse, not that big a deal. In Palace or Heaven on High, huge deal.
Yeah.
Odds are if you lose 8 minutes on your timer, then you're still screwed. So in all honesty, like if a DDoS kicks you off and you get back in a minute or 2, it might not be the end of the world. But for a lot of people, the run is still over. And if you DC in the boss fight, the run's absolutely still over.
Depending on where you DC. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, good on them, but I really don't think they kind of thought it through.
It's not so much that they didn't think it through. It's that they're giving people exactly what they wanted or what people have asked for, but the real logistics of it do not support. The game needs to either kick you out immediately, so you have very low chances of dying, or the game needs to detect that you're disconnecting and not allow you to die, which are two very, very different things to be saying. And on top of that, if you disconnect in a party and one person dies and everyone disconnects, so if even just one of the 4 players die during this disconnect process, it will count as the fail. So it's not like one person can die and then everyone else disconnects and then you just come back in and res that person. If everyone is removed from the dungeon and at least one person, if I'm understanding this correctly, if even one person is dead, then that's it. So I still think disconnecting and being gone for the time limit, unless it's on the lower floors, is still going to suck. Like if I was climbing the first 100 floors and I disconnected of Palace of the Dead, there's a good chance I make it back and survive. Like Palace of the Dead monsters aren't really threatening enough on the first 100 floors for me to care. So saving something like that is nice. Saving something in the first 30 floors and Heaven on High also. Although anywhere in Eureka Orthos, you're screwed. Like the moment you start disconnecting, there's no way you're surviving in Eureka Orthos. But yeah, it helps.
Oh yeah, patrolling mobs.
Oh yeah, no, you're so dead in Eureka Orthos if a patrol finds you while you're disconnecting, or if you're in the middle of fighting something. So yeah, it doesn't help as much as I think people maybe thought it would when we were asking for it, but it is what people asked for, so they're doing it. Like at the bottom, at the end of it, that's great, but I think they should also try to look at how they handle disconnects so that this situation can be improved even further. It's a step. It's just not a perfect step.
Right. What else? Weapon enhancement quests for the Phantom weapons.
I was shocked to see them show some of the weapon models. They never do that.
Yeah.
And I really like them. And they're glowy. This isn't supposed to be a glowy step. This is supposed to be a non-glowy step normally.
Yeah, isn't the last step the glowy step?
Yeah, it's normally, I think the 0.3 and 0.5 steps are glowy. We do have some examples of that not being 100% the case in the past, but that's like a good general expectation that people have. Like most people expected not glowy weapons. So I was surprised. Right. I definitely expected not glowy weapons. And the Picto weapon, I think both the weapons look really great. Astra and Picto. These are already, they're 2 for 2 on good looking weapons. Not only are they good looking, they don't look similar, very similar either. So, little bit more uniqueness. That was a big problem with the Manderville weapons. On top of the fact it was just tomes, they all were kind of just the same weapon, reskinned.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So glad to see it.
New variant dungeon, the Merchant's Tale, which we get to see a lot of in this live letter. Further Hildebrand adventures. Again, Hildebrand going with the film noir look. People, why is it black and white? You've seen this. It's been in Hildebrand. Every Hildebrand, this expansion, there's been kind of a film noir scene. So it's not new.
Yeah, normally in a flashback of some kind, which it looks like a flashback.
Yeah. And that was pretty much like them summing up what we're getting in the patch. So first thing we get into is the Arcadian, heavyweight tier, normal and savage. And we get a preview of the first fight.
The second fight,
excuse me. M2, yeah. Deep Blue and Red Hot. It is a tag team battle.
Yep. They're a tag team duo. They do share one health bar. It is worth mentioning. They have a shared health pool, which I guess for the sake of it being one opponent, because it's 2 versus 8, but in most cases, I'd imagine it's a 2 versus 1. I guess we'll find out lore wise if they normally fight 2v2 or if they fight 2v1 and they just have that stipulation. But I don't know. It's hard to say because they both are clearly on the arena during the trailer. Mm-hmm. And also the music, which sounds like it was made from Blink 183. It's like a 90s nostalgia, like Japanese Blink 182 equivalent. Some 14. There you go. That's it. We got plenty of them. It's good. I like it. I like the theme. I like the vibe of it. And I mean, let's look, honestly, I don't know if you've noticed, but all 3 of the second fights in this expansion are the happy-go-lucky fun fights.
Yeah. Yeah, you are right. Yep. I wouldn't call
M6.
Honeybee.
What do you mean? Honeybee is absolutely a happy-go-lucky fun fight.
Baby for you. I fucking hate that bitch.
B is for beauty, benevolent and sweet. Beware the sting of your pitiful defeat.
B is for bitch.
Be yourself. Honey, be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have that. We have M6 and then we have M10. Yeah, they're all the like bright, colorful, fun fights. Which just tells me that being really serious apparently makes you the worst contender in your category. Because that's also true. All 3. Well, I guess Dancing Green isn't really serious, so I guess I can't say that. But But Black Cat, and whoever the Crimson Ellison is, they're both clearly taking this very seriously.
Oh yeah.
Or at least there are more serious personalities within it. But this does leave open, with them being the tag team second fight, that does leave open the CEO for the final fight, or the Brute Underbomber, depending on what you think is going to happen. Can't wait for the Brute.
If they lean in. If they lean into the Undertaker with this one, I swear to God, they're really pulling the WWE, because WWE won't even let Undertaker. They finally let him retire, but the whole meme of the WWE was like, the Undertaker retired. 2 summers later, he comes back for WrestleMania. 4 summers later, he comes back for WrestleMania. 1 more time, he comes back for WrestleMania. They wouldn't let him die. Yeah, that's the meme.
I mean, that's why the Brute Underbomber being a thing would just be so funny.
Yeah.
Because it would very clearly be like, it's literally a full circle thing when it comes to being an Undertaker reference. Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, he said he was retiring. I was a fucking like 12-year-old. He was like, "Oh, I'm done next year." And then like, a year or 2 ago, he's like, "I'm still here." And I'm like, why? Why? I mean, The Rock was also still doing it when I was a kid and then also kept coming back. But at the very least, The Rock took enough steroids to look like he should be coming back. The Undertaker was not doing enough steroids to look like he should have been coming back.
Right.
And yeah, they just showed a few brief mechanics, a wave, some fire AoEs around. So they're surfing, these crazy guys are just surfing all over. We also said why. Let this man stop. And wait, are you telling me The Undertaker is not actually Kane's brother? That's fucked up. All right.
Yeah.
Immersion absolutely ruined. That's when I had to quit the WWE. I was like, I can't take it anymore. You've ruined everything for me. HP bar is shared. They show a bunch of mechanics here. And then they show the gear, which is just a little bit more high-tech looking than I guess the previous sets that were in the Arcadian itself.
Yeah.
Only slightly, a little bit more Metal Gear Solid, in my opinion.
Yeah. I will say I do like the Cyber Samurai.
Oh yeah, the Samurai I think was
looking.
one of the best looking ones. I thought the Dragoon Spear in particular looked really nice.
Oh yeah.
That's a good looking spear. The melee coat does look very good. Machinist, just like the Jobs, just using a Nerf gun. Not really surprising there. I literally own that. I literally have that Nerf gun. It's a Nerf machine gun. I have it in my garage right now. I was literally cleaning through my garage and I saw that, and then I saw this picture and I went, holy moly, I have that. I can be a machinist IRL.
How do you feel about the Viper?
I love it. I love that. I love dual split swords like that.
I'm kind of mixed on it. I'm kind of mixed on it, like the whole like split sword, the twin sword kind of thing.
I hope when it's combined, they kind of close and lengthen a little bit when they're in the combined mode.
One quick side note, as I'm looking at these pictures, and if you again, those of you watching on YouTube or watching right now, if you go into the Discord, the Final Fantasy Reddit Discord, and you look at these pictures, if you saw the video, clearly the Yan is just in amazement of all these gear pictures.
Yeah, the Yan,
that Yan in the background just kills me.
Over and over again, the Yan is just behind, watching, waiting for its opportunity. It is really good. I noticed that too, and it's definitely a funny one. Good Yan plush. But like I said, I'm only okay with most of these sets. I'm not like crazy about any in particular, but I do like some of the weapons.
Not really.
And,
I kind of like the first set. I kind of lean more into the wrestling gear more than this futuristic set.
Yeah, especially because this is kind of like a mix between I call it almost like a mix between the wrestling set and the PvP casual wear sets. It's like somewhere in between. But the other sets look like they would be worn by a WWE character in Final Fantasy 14, so I kind of was okay. Even if they also look like they could have belonged to a sex dungeon, that's fine. Like those are basically the same thing as far as I know about the WWE. So it's that's fitting, I feel.
Yeah.
But hey, you can glam anything over anything this patch. So if you don't like something,
there you go.
Your creativity will not be stifled. I promise you. Now,
there you go.
While all of the Arcadian stuff was cool, there was one piece of news about the Arcadian that took everyone by surprise.
Yep. A song created by an award-winning artist will be featured in the Arcadian heavyweight tier. And Ozo. And of course, Tom Morello shows up out of nowhere. I'm like, okay, hi, Tom Morello. Hi. He's like, I'm working on the track Everything Burns. And we heard it. We heard it in the trailer, and he played a snippet of it during the live letter, and it
was good.
Soken's a madman, but he's our madman, and we love him.
Well, keep in mind, Soken has nothing to do with this song. He actually has absolutely nothing to do with this song. So the story behind it is Jason Charles Miller and Tom Morello are board game buddies. And so Jason spoke to Tom and told him that he should work with Soken. And then he just made a song and then emailed it to Soken and said, I made this for you. And then they had to figure out where to put it in the game because they didn't have a plan. I made this. And that's how that happened. That's how this is happening at the moment. So the fight is more made around the song than the song made around the fight.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool. And Soken has said that Rage Against the Machine is his favorite band. He idolizes them. They are one of his primary inspirations for music in the modern day. So it was like his hero sending him a gift.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. That's got to be I mean, his expression says it all.
Right as he came back.
I'm going to make that a Twitch emote.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. I listen. I already have it made basically. I just need to upload it there. The instrument, the actual song the music is done by Tyler Smith and Tom Morello, and the lyrics are done by Caleb Shomo from Beartooth as well.
Yep.
So it's gonna be a time. And, we'll get to hear it in the Arcadian in just a couple short weeks, not even like a week and a half at that point.
Hmm.
Then we
now,
have
as he
nope, sorry, you go.
Wait. As he was leaving, as Soken was leaving, he had on a Rage Against the Machine shirt, and then he just lifted it up and showed an Austin, Texas shirt. So could he be doing a Yoshi P thing of hinting at something for later? You think you don't think so?
No, I don't think so. I think he's too busy.
Okay.
If he ever has to leave Japan, it's almost certainly not happening. Like that's something he seldom does anymore, or at all. Period. So no, I listen. I have had Soken on the same plane as me, and he is dead when he travels. He was like, oh, I asked for a picture, he took it, and then literally a second later, just like. He is not trying to travel all around the world. He's only doing that for Fan Festive, and then he likes to have a little bit of a break in between. So I mean, I will say this: I guess in a way, I wouldn't be surprised if he got invited to like be at a concert and he just went kind of for his own thing and not on business. That I could say, just be like, I got to live my dream and go backstage at a Rage Against the Machine. Like I could totally see that happening. But
yeah, I can the primals at Austin City Limits might be a thing. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then next up was the PvP updates. Starting out, PvP Series 10 begins. Series.
Yep.
Getting some action adjustments, of course. New items for the crystals.
Mm-hmm.
The combination crystals.
Yeah, season 1 and 2 feast gear that have been reskinned replicas. So there are quite a few other sets they'll probably gradually filter in. But what's interesting is they are giving these a different die setup than the original set. So the people with the original sets still they're the only ones that have that exact die style and piece of armor available. Now what about the mounts? Just do the same with the mounts. Just reskin the mounts and we'll be good, because there's some pretty cool PvP mounts that I accept if they don't do it. I'm in the boat that I don't think everything needs to be exclusive. I'm also in the boat that there's a lot of win trading, and if they at least want to reskin it, I'm totally okay with it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm down. Just saying. And then we actually got to look at Warcore Cherte, and I'm mixed.
I don't know about you, but when I first saw this, they started out by explaining, front lines. How does front lines work? They've been doing this every single live letter for the past few. So this is how front lines works. So this is Warcore, and then this is Warcore Cherte, Triumph. And when they explained it, I'm like, okay, that seems great. And then they show it visually. I don't know about you, Happy. I've been doing quite a bit of front lines these past few weeks. Does this or not seem like the Dom with extra steps?
It is. It's on Sol Hakar, but with a few extra changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad I wasn't the only one who thought that.
No, it absolutely is. That's why I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah, yeah.
I would rather see a mode that does not
Right.
resemble On Sol Hakar. Like, don't get me wrong, Seas is my favorite mode, and On Sol Hakar, I like it a little less than Seas. I don't know that. I think I'll probably feel the same way about On Sol Hakar as I do about this mode. But I mean, I can't really say anything until I get into it.
But yeah, as they're explaining, claiming a triumph and everything, stand inside the circles. Once it's claimed, you can just leave.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like they were talking to people doing the Nadam, because that's what people do. Like,
Yeah.
usually in the Nadam is like, when you claim a spot in the Nadam, people are still hanging there. People are still like fighting for about a good few minutes before they leave. And like, I felt like they were trying to say, hey, like, once you get this, just go to the next point. Stop fighting it at the point. It's gone. You can't do anything. Maybe get a few kills, but yeah. Yeah, the way you claim the triumph, okay, it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
And they kind of showed us, hey, like, you get in a circle, you get out, it resets. Get in, out, resets. In and out. Yeah. We got that.
Don't mind me.
Yeah, welcome to the South.
Sausage, get it.
But yeah, they kind of showed the mechanics of claiming the triumphs and everything. And again, it's really simple. And when you look at it, it is the Nadam. That's basically what it is at its barest form. So it's not going to be too different if you like the Nadam. One, why, you big weirdo. Two, you'll probably like this. It'll probably be some form of fun.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I'll probably be okay with this mode, but like, I just would like to see something that isn't so. And it always comes back to, I think 3 teams is just not
three teams. Yeah.
To go. Just stop
Yep.
doing 3-team mode so much. Just add Astrologos back in. Add some basic like 10 versus 10 player modes or something. I'm not gonna lie. In recent times, I've grown to miss 8v8 Feast. Like, that just having a deathmatch mode. Like, even then, I've come to miss 8v8 Feast.
Yeah.
Just as like a clusterfuck of fun that is less people to queue into it. I almost wonder if they redid that, if it would do better nowadays.
I think one day, I agree. One day they will have to kind of get rid of the Grand Company structure within the majority of PvP. If they really want it to be good, they just scrap out I know that's what was intended for the Grand Companies in the beginning when we had PvP, but now it's kind of dated itself. So if you really want a fun factor. But at the same time, that would mean adjusting the maps too, because you gotta realize the maps in Frontlines are based around 3 teams. So if you take away one, it's going to be really weird. If you take away like a team, AGC, for example,
Yeah, I mean,
it feels weird.
You can't really undo it so much as I just want them to stop making that where all their, like, I just want more 2-team modes that are not 48 to 72 people. Like 20 people is a great number of people for a PvP match. Even 30 people, like, at most 40. But like the fact that they keep hinging on the 72 player mode is just like, I don't know. Like, I would say, so here's the thing, when it comes to the amount of people who play at the very least through the dailies, it's pretty good. Mm-hmm. But then they also ignore rival wings, so that's still incredibly strange to me as well. So there's for every effort they make that looks decent or cool, there's an underlying like, okay, but like, why don't you do something that isn't just that again? And I feel like what has happened is Season Shatter, I think, have at least structurally been their most successful large scale modes. Mm-hmm. And so they just keep looking to kind of reiterate elements.
Much as you hate it.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of people just go to Shatter because they really don't need to try. Like, the people who really like PvPing in Shatter murder everyone else. The people who don't really like PvPing in Shatter show up and get their free chicken. So,
Yep.
that's kind of the big thing. And they keep trying to add modes where you actually need to PvP, but they're also trying to have like, I'm not going to call it PvE.
Objectives.
Yeah, I don't know how I really want to put it, but there's like some sort of element.
No,
that's
you're right.
outside
PvE
of
objectives.
Yeah.
Yeah, PvE objectives, yeah.
Saucy, come on up. Hey, Saucy, come on over. Saucy, I saw you trying to jump up there. Come on. All right, my cat's dumb. All right, never mind. She's just dumb. She was like, I can't make that jump, so I'm just going to not try. And then just gave up and is now just staring at me. Like it's somehow my responsibility that she can't do it. Because she has short legs. She can't make the jump. Oh, and Ivy took her spot now, so now she's leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here she comes. There you go, girl. Hey, come here. All right, or you go back there. I'm done trying to deal with you. Anyway. Yeah, she's a little bit of a drama queen. Yeah, I don't know. It's just I would just like to see more creativity with the large scale modes that aren't crystalline conflict. And I feel this screams to me like just go with what's safe, which is I feel like what they should be trying to get away from is not take huge risks, but don't just do the thing that you already have again slightly differently.
Yeah, I agree. I still think 72 could be okay with 2 teams.
That's too many people. Like, just bring it down. Like 48 is like the max.
The point they wanted a large scale map with, a large amount of people, and I'm okay with that.
But here's the thing.
I'm okay with it.
Stop making all of your modes the same size. Like, accept that certain PvP types, like staples of different PvP games, require you to have different sizes. So just make maps with different sizes, make a different one the daily bonus every day, start including rival wings on it. You can't do capture the flag with 72 people, Sly. It's a fucking disaster.
Oh, absolutely. But you're kind of hinting about the size. It could be done with a good size map, a proportionate size map to the amount of people. And that's what I was getting at. If you kind of try to shrink down the maps that we currently have for 72 people amongst 2 teams, it'd be weird. It'd be weird. The points would be weird. The points would definitely be weird. And
I'm not saying to undo what's already there, Sly. I'm saying stop making modes that are exactly the same thing with exactly the same map structure.
Oh, I mean, agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they fix this mess.
It's not even about fixing it. It's just stop doing it. Like, stop doing just don't do the exact same thing again. Like, in a lot of ways, they've made a lot of advancements with different types of content, figured out why people want to do them every day and what. I think only PvP, they're literally just accepting, for the most part, that people just do their roulettes, and they're trying to give them different environments to comfortably do the roulette that they're already comfortable doing. It's kind of like dungeons are effectively the same thing where, your dungeons, boss trash. Like, yeah, they have slight differences. The bosses are different, etc. But the idea is that someone comfortably will have a very similar experience and they can do that reliably.
I mean, how do you think we arrived at a variant criterion? We essentially got tired of dungeons.
Yeah, and then we'll get into that. We'll save that topic for a little bit later. But I would just like to see a more creative mode. Like, I've seen really cool maps for Crystalline Conflict. It's been really good seeing them support it. I've heard really good things about queue times in the last couple of seasons in particular. And then even before that, the first few weeks normally good, and then after that, a little bit rough around the edges. So still some work to do
Peter's
there.
down.
Yeah. And I think part of that is there's not enough rewards and reasons to be doing it for a lot of people. So it kind of hurts motivation, especially among the more casual players trying to get in initially. And we've seen balance adjustments to try to ease people into that a little bit more as well. So I've seen active effort, but Frontlines is the one place where the only effort I see is just another thing that's like the thing that was already there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's the next big PvP thing to tackle. Bring Astrologos back, get more varied modes, and make sure they're all part of the daily. That, to me, that would go a long way. Because if I log in and I go, oh shit, this mode is on the daily today. I'm honestly, there are days I will be more motivated to PvP if it's not just the exact same mode again with a different map.
Yeah. If Astragalus comes back, if they bring it back, do they bring it back as is, or do they change anything?
They said the reason they took it down was because the map was imbalanced. Like that was because the one side of the map is much worse balanced than the other side of the map. So that was the reason they took it down initially, was to fix that, and they never did that.
How? I mean, I don't see imbalance. I mean, I see imbalance on every map, pretty much. For example, on the Dom, like every match could be imbalanced.
No, it's what it specifically means.
Point.
The south side of the map is better than the north side of the map. So everyone just kind of rushes the south side of the map, and then the north side of the map is kind of the leftover, I suppose, if you want to call it that. It's just like the actual balance of the north versus the south side of the map. For not the left or the right, but the north or the south side of the map is not very well done. So that was the main reason they took it down the first time. And we just haven't gotten it back. Like it sounded like they just needed to fix the elevation of the map, and they just never did it.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'll give it a try. I wasn't like crazy impressed, but I wasn't like I know I just don't think too much about the PvP updates in general because I'm not like a big PvPer. So I kind of just look at them in general. Is this fun? Sure. In my honest opinion, the most fun that I've had other than Seas was Astrologos. So that's why I'm especially hurt that Astrologos has been gone so long, because I had a ton of fun with Astrologos.
Yeah.
And I actually don't care for Hidden Gorge all that much. I just really don't. I prefer Astrologos to Hidden Gorge. I'm the weird one. But that's just me. And then they showed how it works. You know, you stand on the points of the shape and then stand in it. They also showed some weather effects, like when it's ice, you can get a shield and you can use some snowmen as line of sight.
Aurora.
The Auroras, yeah, you get tons of limit break generation and more high value points spawn. So it's known as the reversal weather, because that's where you can actually turn around a match with good limit breaks and take a bunch of high value points if you're, not playing with a bunch of, bots, I guess. Yeah. They're probably real people, but yeah, like I said, not playing with a bunch of bots.
Yeah.
They might actually be real people, but figuratively to me, it'll feel like they're bots. Then moving past that, going past the PvP stuff, they quickly showed off the glam update. There's not much to say. They just showed what it's like being a black mage wearing the warrior top, or a reaper wearing botanist gear. So you're lore accurate as a reaper. There's not much to really say about that. They are also updating the outfit glamour. So there's a couple more things that can be treated as outfit glamours. This is the feature from the last patch where you can like make a set and then store it all as one item instead of storing it as 5 separate items. So it saves a bunch of space, which I forgot about because I don't glam very often. They're adding some new things in there, like class, job gear, starter gear, fashion gear, like, other than level 1. But they're also making it so you don't need the whole set to store them anymore. You could store like 3 pieces in. And then if you do decide to store the 4th piece, you can add it later without like too much headache. So if we're not going to get more glamour dresser space, they're going to make the space we have, I guess, fit more is the general idea. Or at least seems to be what's happening right here. Who actually knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I lost the tab.
He showed off more gear.
Yeah, showed off more gear. That's it. Yeah, and this was the tome gear, which is very lovey-dovey.
Yeah, to say the least. I'm like, this is the tome gear. Oh, the crafted gear. Excuse me. This is the crafted gear.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the crafted gear. This is okay.
Very magical girl. Yeah, it's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
I don't have any problems with it. I'm just probably not. Here's the thing. I'm probably not going to use most crafted gear anyway. So honestly, it barely even matters.
Yeah, that's the thing. You probably won't even need to. I mean, you'll probably maybe be using accessories at that point, maybe, and then maybe one left side piece, because you'll probably have the other ones probably won't be. Well, you'll probably get something out of first fight, but yeah, accessories and
Well, the first fight's
maybe one or
accessories,
two left sides.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's I can tell a lot of people are going to love it, but that's the beauty of the new glam system is I don't have to love everything. I don't have to worry about actually being stuck wearing it. So it doesn't matter much to me. You got the love fist, the love scythe, the love staff. I hate saying that. And then I can also see why, like, the top on the Viper set, I can see a lot of people are probably going to really like. A lot of people are going to like a lot of this gear. And that's the thing. Like, I'm not a glam person, so if people who like glam are really excited for something, they can have it. That's the most important thing.
In the name of the moon, I will punish you.
Yes, precisely. And then, next most important thing, we got a great meme format with Yoshi P and Foxclaw looking behind them.
Oh,
we need
I'm like
green
somebody from
ASAP.
from my community already made a green screen. Green screen or transparent. So yeah, Marcus, if you're here or if somebody did make it, let me know. I can give them your links because they already put it in my Discord. So yeah.
Yeah, great format.
So funny.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 format.
Yeah.
That was the halfway point. And then they went through Merchant's Tale, the new variant dungeon.
Yep.
They showed off some of the paths, some of the bosses. If you know how variant works, there's not really a whole lot to say outside of the visuals look kind of cool. I like the music. And Yoshi P gave up and quit on the first boss of the first path and went down a different path so he wouldn't have to fight that boss anymore. Yeah. There was about all there was to say. And then briefly showed off Variant Advanced. Died because he was solo, because he has dev powers, but didn't use the invuln. Like it looks like a variant dungeon. It has all the staples of a variant dungeon. The Variant Advanced is exactly what they said it would be, and they didn't show Criterion. And this is where they fucked up, Sly.
How?
Sly, one sentence could have changed this whole live letter. One sentence. You know what that sentence would have been?
Okay. What?
We understand there was a lot of feedback about the rewards from Criterion and variant dungeons throughout Endwalker. And while we are not showing you anything today, we can assure you we have included much more rewards. And then an additional statement about item level inclusion or something or other of the same matter. We needed one sentence to talk about any acknowledgement of rewards, because they did this for Criterion Savage in 7.55. They said we've had feedback about the rewards, so we added the weapons to Criterion Savage. But that wasn't where the problem was. The problem was Criterion.
Right.
And now also Variant Advanced. So all they've talked about is that there are rewards for, like, the individual bosses have their own loots in Variant Variant Advanced, and Criterion we don't know anything about. So the fact they said nothing is like, bruh, now we have to speculate and or be concerned for the next 8 to 10 weeks instead of just having at least a statement of acknowledgement, which doesn't really do anything, but is better than nothing.
Yeah, this is one of those where you kind of take it with a grain of salt. You just kind of have to, I'm taking it as is. If there was nothing said, 9 out of 10, nothing has probably been done is the way I look at it.
They're going to get railed for it, Sly. And I will be among the ones railing them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, how you doing? I definitely see that happening.
Yeah, we hear you. Please stand by. Anything of the sort would have done the trick. But there wasn't any of that. So that was my big, like, you screwed up this live letter. Was you just had to say something. That's all you had to do. And you chose to say nothing. And now everyone will be worried for the next however many weeks and months that it takes before it actually comes out.
Yep.
So we love that. And then there was also a new variant action, Variant Eagle Eye, which just does a ton of damage as well.
Yep. Yeah, and used on CD, basically what they said.
Yep. And it was the command panel, which, Sly, I can already see the YouTube video. Final Fantasy 14, but I'm only allowed to use the command panel.
Yeah, I know that's coming.
I mean, there's also not a lot to say about this. It works exactly like you'd expect. There's even some features that I guess I didn't expect just because I wasn't even thinking about them. Some menu options. One, to instantly close it upon selecting an action, so you don't have to manually close it every time. That's an option. You can turn that on and off. Open the panel wherever your cursor is. So whatever's in the dead center, you would click immediately, or you just don't have to like constantly move your mouse cursor to find it. Open the last panel used. So just a memory option for the panels, or lock the panels so it can't be adjusted. You know, just the last one, I guess I kind of expected, but you know.
You know, I could see, shout out to Super Lewis, by the way. I could see Super Lewis doing something like this with a control panel and maybe using, I don't know, a stream deck to raid.
Oh no, you make 4 stream decks and then you just pull up each of the panels and then you just have all of them like this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Look like a fucking mad scientist with 100 buttons across your 4 Steam decks. Stream decks, sorry. Steam Deck, very different. You can still also do it on the Steam Deck, however.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, great feature. Looks good. There's nothing
Yeah.
much to say. It's what they said it would be. It's 100 extra buttons, and you know, it has some options filtered in. A lot of people will use it. A lot of people use it to clean up their hotbars with stuff that isn't combat related stuff, and some of us will use it for absolutely stupid things, and it's going to be great.
Yep.
So I have no complaints.
And then Happy, we get into the big one, the one we've been waiting for God knows how long.
Oh, I know exactly.
The strategy
how long.
board.
I don't even. God knows. I know. We all know. It's been since we heard about it at I think it was NA Fan Fest for Dawn Trail.
No, no, it goes back. I think it goes back further. It goes back to the Shadowbringers trailers that came out of Media Tour with the they had the strategy boards, the little tiles that moved onto the trailer.
Oh yeah. You know what? I'll give you credit.
Yeah.
I was thinking since it was actually named as a feature, not as the fucking job action trailer.
It originated from this. It originated from that, and the people were like, "Why don't we have that in game?"
Yeah, no, he's right. He's absolutely right. I do remember this. I had forgotten to consider that, but yes, that is definitely a consideration. So yeah, the strategy board, it's been a feature that everyone's been equal parts anticipating and equal parts concerned, because if it's anything short of spectacular, it will be useless.
Now, Haps, you said you were kind of mixed about this. You were kind of excited, but there's some things that need to be worked on.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the things that you are kind of happy about for this. Yeah, I know. For this feature.
They pretty much hit the nail on the head with most everything that I wanted it to do, and actually it does a few things I didn't even think of it doing. You can share it in game, you can share it online, you can change all the icons. There's presets for common mechanics. There's everything you would need to really, really make it work. And then also the ability to share it with your party members and then watch you live edit it while you're discussing mechanics. So if you're like, oh, let's come up with a strategy. If you're a week 1 raider, you're coming up for a strategy, you literally just pull up the board, share it with everyone in your group, and then just start moving the pieces around there instead of fucking putting markers down or like pulling up a Miro board or fucking John Maddening that shit on Discord in any way. Like you can now just do that, and then everyone can be a part of the discussion on what works, where you want certain people. You can highlight your own position too, so you know exactly where you are in the whole thing. And yeah, they also even covered something else. I was concerned about the space. When they said there was only 50 spaces, I was a little worried, but then they announced there's also 20 temporary spaces. So like while you're PFing, for example, you might just take the temporary ones that their PF is using and not just save them as permanent ones, which, you know, is really good. I think they actually did consider most everything with this, and it looks like it'll be used very well. And it looks like it'll be used in conjunction with what we already have, because you can have it up on the screen. You can have it up in the middle of a mechanic, so you know where you need to go and what you need to do. You can write dick bag on it with markers. That's exactly what we need. I can't wait to see the dick bag markers go around for everyone.
Now you can have this up in the fight. Yeah. Right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now one concern of mine, it's not the worst concern, but uh the I guess the arenas.
Yes, that was a concern before.
Yeah.
It's no
So
longer.
if we're talking about a specific arena, and a lot of arenas have, identifiers on the ground that allows us to kind of make movement and say, hey, you need to go at this particular spot where these two circles meet. I'm thinking of Fru. And that's that. So if they could actually use, instead of using like prefixed arenas like checkerboard patterns and whatnot, use the actual arenas that the fights come from.
So no, but here's the thing. You can kind of recreate them. They do show, for example, there's no board that lets you make Queen Eternal's arena, but they showed a custom made Queen Eternal arena that was made using the boards. So you can make them basically the way you want them. Number two, you can straight up write text on them. So for example, DSR during the dive bomb phase during Thornton 2, one of the common piece of advice is how many little arena notches do you go over for a specific mechanic? So you can write like four notches over or something like that. You can also take a PF code, and then once you import it and have it locally, you could just write reminders for shit for yourself on there. Like, don't forget this, or hold 2 minutes, or, whatever you need to help identify like what it is you're actually doing, can be reverse position, like whatever reminder you need, you can just write down on it. So it acts as a sticky note and a second fucking like reference guide for anything you're doing, which is already legitimately what a lot of high-end raiders do with Miro or Discord on their second monitor. They're just going to do it in game now because they can just have it on the side and just reference it without, I'll tell you, I look at my other monitor like right before a mechanic is happening and just like make sure I've kind of got to mentally memorize, or like even pull it up on my phone while it's like right in front of my keyboard.
Oh yeah,
so
I do
just
that.
Look down. Yeah, like you just don't need to do that anymore. And it looks like it does enough different things that honestly, the only thing I could find that was a problem is I don't see a way to play through multiple ones in a row like Raid Plan does. That's like the only thing. But when I'm in the middle of a mechanic, I'm not fucking scrolling through the Raid Plan to check everything. I would say that just is ease of use for sake of like, if I want to share a folder with someone, they should be able to just click like, and maybe it was and I just missed it. It might have been there, but they should just be able to click next, next, next. In this case, they'll go like down, down, down to like check each and every one that's in the folder. So
yeah, like for example, like when I'm rating, I have like a PDF cheat sheet on this right monitor right here. So when we get to a mechanic and like it's happening, I can just quickly go over it and say, hey, I have short fire. Okay.
Yeah. And Yoshi P even said that he thinks macros, for being like as concise as humanly possible, are still the best way to do things. Like, because when you post a macro, people make the image and you just say, okay, D1 is in this spot and everything here. But it doesn't actually give you a good visual of the arena and the size of the AoEs. It's literally just like an assignment board for people who perfectly understand the fight. Whereas this is like visual aid for people who are learning the fight or need help with something more visual. It's effectively for people who just don't see macros as a valuable tool to help them visualize specific mechanics.
I don't even think it's that macros aren't a valuable tool. They are.
Macros are the best.
They're the best. It's just, for NA, it's like, who's making these macros? Who's taking the time to make the more?
No, we just steal them from Japan. That's it. Because Japan makes all the good ones. We just let them do it.
Yeah,
literally every time. Thank God that the fucking variant dungeon is a picture book. Because if there were words in there, NA wouldn't even fucking do it.
True.
NA allergic to words in every regard, macros and everything.
I was elected to lead, not to read.
Yeah, they ain't doing either. So I don't know. I haven't figured out what they were elected for at this point. I was impressed. I thought pretty much all of my concerns were quelled. Now, the actual usability is questionable. Like, we still haven't gotten our hands on it. So it looks good, but like, does it feel good to use? That's something you won't really know. But the fact that we saw him like put a donut AoE, and there was options to make the inside of the donut bigger or to shrink the outer ends of the AoE and to rotate AoEs around the arena, and everything I could possibly want it to do, for the most part, it does. And it looks like it can be incorporated pretty well into existing things. Sly, I had a brilliant idea. Here's what I'm going to do.
What's that?
I'm going to make a shirt for FanFest, right? And it's just going to be the Happy Brambles raid code share on a shirt. I'm just going to walk around in that.
Oh my God.
And it's just going to be a PF description for what's it called? E9.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to be like, whatever, just 3 pulls, kill or disband Happy Brambles, raid code attached, and then it'll just be the raid code on the shirt. And then then that's it. And then there's just the strategy board code on the shirt. Might as well lean into it at this point.
So yeah, and pretty much at the end, they kind of gave some examples of, I guess, current in-game fights that they used the strategy before. I was wondering if you could recognize a few of them.
I recognize almost all of them. And then there's some I really should recognize, and I don't. The second page was easier for me to recognize than
the second page. Yeah, that's Fiend, the Algramanda. I want to say that was on the bottom left. That was Sure Riot.
No, Brute. That's Brute. That's M7.
Oh, M7. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the one on the right, bottom right, looks familiar.
It's M8's Revolutionary Reign.
Huh.
Yeah. The first one is like Seiryu Extreme Necron. I forget the bottom right one for some reason. I should know that off the top of my head. And then the other one, there's just a ton of dungeons that work that way. It's a dungeon boss, the top right one.
It's a dungeon boss.
There's a ton of dungeon bosses that do that, both recently and from ages ago. So yeah, no, I recognize most of them. And the best example, Queen Eternal's arena being made here by the people by using the functions and changing the opacity. Good example of making a custom arena. The only thing I don't like about that is that if it's a custom arena made by the player, there's no guarantee that it's properly to scale. But I think it gets the point across for the most part.
Yeah.
So that would be the only real concern that I would have there. But hardly a concern at all, if you ask me.
My concern, my main concern is the arenas, because like when I feel like a lot of raiders are going to use this, and especially for ultimates, especially for like the upcoming ultimate, whenever that is. And ultimates are so precise. They are so precise in where you need to be, and like it is just a thin line between living and death. It's like probably 1 pixel sometimes, and it's kind of hard to see on a regular ass checkerboard.
Yeah. Chat has my I'm still afraid people can't read, so I just whatever. That'll always take precedent as my chief concern, in all honesty.
It's just, people are just visual learners.
I need them to visually look at the words that are in front of them then.
Yeah.
They're not it's not fucking braille words. They don't need to touch it. They can see with it. They can see with their eyes and see what's written on the page.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I don't have any concerns about it anymore. I think they nailed it with strategy board. I can see, and I can see the memes. I can see the effective use. It's like, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
Yay! This isn't Duty Recorder 2.0.
Now what we need is for the Duty Recorder to allow you to fucking do it like a teleprompt, just like John Madden.
John Madden.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the final step. Just tie that in with this, and we're good.
Yeah.
But that was the last thing they showed for Part 2 Live Letter that wasn't in the I'm not even. It wasn't even really. It was kind of QVC, but it was mostly announcements.
Semi QVC.
Yeah.
So the first announcement was the Berlin FanFest ticket details.
Yeah.
So EU, have fun. The Fantasian collaboration.
The lady in charge
Just
of the cash
a little.
shop is out of control. She did this with Evil East too.
Again, I still need to play Fantasian.
It's pretty good.
Pre-orders for the Stormblood rulebook or the TTRPG.
Yep.
I think the orders for the GM book are going out right now, or the GM set are going out right now, or being shipped. The Good Shop in Akihabara.
Yeah, just a permanent
some
14 merch
merch.
store. Just if you're going to Japan, you can go to Akiba and just buy merch at the merch store now, the physical merch store.
And I guess my favorite one, the fragrance collaboration. Do you want to smell like mom? You want to smell like Hitler Deus?
We've
you want to smell like Emmett Zulk?
Yeah, we've got 3 brands here for your enjoyment. We've got Emmett Smelk, we've got Sniffladeus, and we've got Vanaz Bathwater. So you've got 3.
Oh my god!
3 cents to enjoy from the heart of Elpis for your smelling needs, as far as I'm concerned. So, and I cannot take credit for any of those because chat wrote all of them. So you can't even look at me. I just remembered them because there's no way I would forget Emmett Smelk.
Sniffladeus.
Oh, de Elpis. Oh, de Elpis. Had to do it. And yeah,
the gaming next speaker, the newest model, is out. I remember them doing another model, but I guess this is the newest one. Okay. I never understood these. I
don't get it either. I'm not interested.
Yeah. And the collector's edition digital upgrade sale is going on.
For 2 more days.
Until Sunday, December 7th. Or Monday, December 8th. Yeah.
It depends on your time.
Then, of course, yeah. And then the patch note reading will be on the 16th, right before the patch goes live.
Yep.
And that was the live letter.
No, you forgot one thing. So.
Oh, wait. Yeah, forgot one thing. Square is hiring game content testers in Japan. Job requirements: experience with clearing ultimate content. Students accepted.
Congrats, world first to JP, by the way. Congrats to dude. It's so funny. Lucrezia just tweeted out okay after they saw this. Now I will say this: your instinct when reading that says they're testing the next Ultimate. I'm not convinced because of the time frame. So this is the first recruiting round, and it's mid-January for 3 months, which would mean February, March, April. Ultimate's supposed to be end of May.
7.5.
And there's a second round of recruiting. This is only the first round of recruiting. If that second round is after the 3 months, this can't be for Ultimate.
Yeah, this is more than likely for 8.0. 8.0 Ultimates and onward, possibly.
I don't even think that.
What are you thinking?
We've got a couple of things it could be. So obviously it could be Ultimate. It could be multiple things. It's also worth saying there's no saying it's just for one thing as well. That's a totally reasonable thing. They could be testing a lot of high-end features, but we know Fork Tower Magic will have 2 difficulties, is there, and they could just want more high-end players to be able to test Fork Tower Magic as well. Ultimate is an obvious one. Dude, I don't think it's this. That could maybe Beastmaster's got some tough as nails shit. I doubt it. But Mr. Ozma also teased that there's something new and refreshing coming in 7.5 that he's working on, because he confirmed he's not working on the next Ultimate, but he's working on something new and exciting for 7.5. I don't know if that's a new chaotic.
You've been exciting for who?
I mean, look at the fucking people they're recruiting. I mean, here's the thing. Being experienced with Ultimate does not mean they expect you to do Ultimate level content. It means they want you to be high skilled so they can make you do anything. Because there's no way that they're hiring all these people to just test one thing for 3 months is the way I look at it. Like, they're probably just want you to be capable of doing a lot of different things. So, but I mean, Mr. Ozma did say he was working on something that he thought would be new and refreshing for 7.5X. And we have no idea what that is. All we know is that he's not working on the next Ultimate, as far as I remember. They also point out that Mr. Ozma started at the company as a temporary employee, similar position. And now look where he is. So I think they might also be trying to get students interested in working at Square. To our high-end raiders. High-skill players that they can recruit and train into developers. So I think there's a few different things that they're trying to achieve with this. And I approve of all of them. So that was definitely an interesting thing to end up. Everyone's like, why was there no Ultimate news? It's like, guys, there will never be Ultimate news in this. Oh, wait, hold on. Kind of. Yeah, they're attempting to clone Mr. Ozma. That's all it is.
Oh, God.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that it's just, I think they are just, there's a lot of different reasons they're doing this, but I think it's a good idea. And I approve. So,
yeah.
Good on you. Yeah. But now it's the end of the live letter slide.
Yes. All in all, we're totally hype and ready for 7.4.
Yes, I just really wish they'd have brought up rewards in variant criterion.
Yeah.
I think it's such a huge mistake that they didn't. And I now I'm just going to be scared for the next however many months because I love criterion. I've been doing criterion again as of late. And I've been enjoying it because I love the bosses in there. I just laugh at when I clear it and I go, well, I didn't get anything because there's really nothing to get. I either get them out or I do it 25 times to get them out. One of those two things is the only thing that's happening really. So I just scared.
So TARDIS housing for probably 7.5 is what we're thinking. Because Catfight.
Hey, Ivy, hold on. It's because her paw's stuck. Ivy, it's okay. Sausage doesn't use her claws when she does that. That's fine. Hey, you two need to get along. You two have gotten along for a while. I can't have this go the other way. Yeah, Ivy, it's because you keep doing this. Ivy was so confused. So I was just like, get away from me. Stop. There you go. Yeah, I know you're hungry too. She's also going to get nippy with me because it's her feeding time. All right. Well, yeah, that's going to be a wrap. And that's perfect because I have raid in 30 minutes and I am hungry and tired and my cats are also hungry and they're going to start eating me. So I'd say that makes for good timing.
I do too.
So next week, we will have the patch 7.4 patch notes, the preliminary notes. That's what we will be doing our show on next week. And then we'll have patch on Tuesday. So the following week can be our first thoughts. And then we can probably skip a week. And depending on what the holiday season's looking like, we'll see what we end up doing show-wise. Because I think our show would literally have to be on Christmas. That's a Friday, isn't it? Christmas is a Friday this year. No. It's the day. It's the 26th. It would be the day after Christmas. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah,
be a Thursday. Yeah. Okay, that should be good. Yeah, sorry, I was thinking of something else I'm doing on the 11th and the 18th, and I was just like, no, my brain was translating it incorrectly. All right, but let's do our outro, and I'll have 30 minutes before raid.
Let's do it.
All right, Sly, tell them where they can find you at, sir.
You can find me. And I'll be I was about to say my usual closing in my stream. You can find me at twitch.tv/Sly, aka Gray Fox. You can find me on Twitter, Sly, aka Gray Fox, youtube.com/thevelvetroom, Bluesky, Sly, aka Gray Fox, pretty much everywhere. What am I doing? Tomorrow is Saturday. We have our first Saturday WSLY event, Starlight Love. All Crim J-pop set. Kind of getting in the season, getting in the spirit. Next week I will be doing something called the Choose Wisely Fest, which is a fest about games that have hard-hitting narrative choices. So a lot of narrative focused games, a lot of VNs, things like that, stuff right up my alley. Right now, I am also playing Ocarina of Time for the first time since 1999. I will be doing Majora's Mask. After that, I can't remember shit. Hell, I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. Well, today I do. I had Bojangles. I get Bojangles every live letter, excuse me. So I at least remember that. But yeah, it's been interesting to see how much I remember or don't remember about Zelda. And then other than that, yeah, just, celebrating the season, get ready for Kruma. Kruma. Happy, what about you?
You can find me, Mr. Happy 1227 at all the places, playing through Octopath Zero right now. That was my game of choice between Metroid Prime 4, Night Rain DLC, and Octopath Zero. I'm sure there's something else in there. I'm doing Disubmer, where I am running sub discounts consistently throughout the month. I have 6 more that I can run, and I'm sure Twitch will probably run one at some point because they usually do for the holiday season. Where I'm unlocking a whole bunch of goals. We unlocked a big fishing train today. We unlocked a dispatch playthrough today. We unlocked Jack's Box with subs on my birthday, which will be later this month on the 27th. And I'm also in the process of moving into a new house with Sophie. So I am going to be beat as fuck for the next couple of months while doing that simultaneously while doing this and the raid tier January 6th and everything that's going along the way. I've got some sponsored stuff coming up this week too. And I'm going to take a lot of that because, houses are expensive. Oh, that's true. Ashes of Creation does have the fucking beta 3 phase 886, whatever the fuck they're calling it now. I don't even know what the hell they're calling it now. They were into, I don't know, Sly. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life. I also have to smash eggs on my head for every goal. I have 4 eggs that have to be smashed on my head. But I promised stream I would tell them ahead of time and I was going to smash eggs on my head. So probably Monday I'm going to smash eggs on my head. Monday's probably going to be egg smashing day. So I'm thinking that's a good day to.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna make an omelet, and I'm the stovetop. So yeah. There's that. So yeah, that's what I got going on. We also have Game Awards next week. Don't forget as well.
Yes, we do.
So big announcement week next week. Curious to see. I can't wait for Chrono Trigger remake to be announced. Smile. And
what do you think that thing in the Mojave Desert is?
What I think the Mojave Desert is, Alien versus Predator. I don't know. Or Cthulhu. One of the two. I don't know. I've only seen one picture, so I haven't really thought about it very much. So anyway, yeah, that is going to be a wrap. Thanks again to the patrons over on Patreon. Thanks again for Steel Series for sponsoring. And ladies and gentlemen, I will. We will see you next week for the patch notes to go over whatever the patch notes have, whatever surprises they may have in store. All right, sounds good. So we're gonna go into a very short post show, and then I'm gonna grab food before raid starts. So thanks everyone for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat place. Until then, we bid you adieu. Bye bye.
See you next week.